And then my girlfriend goes, I'll open it. It's like, really? She goes, yeah, I'm a girl. I'll just smile and try and like diffuse them. And, you know, I'll make some coffees. And if I'm holding a tray of coffee and I open it, maybe they won't grab me. I'm like, I can't really let you do that. Like, this is a brave thing. Let the men do it. She goes, no, you guys are brave enough. You're about to go to jail and I'll be free. And just let me open it, please. I'm like, all right. So she makes this little tray of coffees. She goes to the door. She presses the button. It's a button and all goes, unlocks. Hello? And I expected them to rush her. And I told her in advance, don't think less of a man of me if I don't start trying to kick the fuck out of these guys when they rush you, because that's what they're going to do. But that just gets me killed. Like, I'm warning you in advance. She's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. But they didn't rush her. When she opened the door, they were like, we're coming in. She's like, yeah, of course. I moved. She goes, want coffee? And one of the guys on the way through actually took a coffee and goes, thanks. And they walked in. And I was like, sorry, guys. Didn't hear you. And he goes, those are some good doors. And I said, criminals can't afford those doors. Don't worry about it. You'll get the other criminals, but we're innocent. And the guy said to me, the guy in SWAT, you know, I've never raided someone's house 3 times. I was like, no? He goes, first time it's ever happened. I don't know who you've upset. So they weren't even mad at us because they knew it was a setup. The police knew, but they're just a muscle, bro. If you don't understand the justice system, you have the detective who does the idea of why you're guilty. You have the judge who decides if you're guilty or not. And then you have the hitters, the muscle guys. They're just like garbage collectors. They don't make the garbage. They just collect the garbage and take it where it's supposed to go. They don't know anything about your case. They don't know why you're there. They don't know the evidence. They're just told, here's an address, standard protocol, steal the money, drag the guy to the office. That's all they do. They don't know anything. So the officers with the guns and shit, unlike the first time where they kicked the fuck out of me, this time we're nice as pie. They're like, we don't know who you've upset. We were talking around the office. This is some bullshit. I was like, I know. He goes, bro, I feel sorry for you guys. We think you're good guys. We don't know what's going on. So no hard feelings. I'm like, bro, we know you're just doing a job. It is what it is. And it was quite a friendly interaction with the muscle. But then the decot detective walked in. He's a fucking dickhead, this guy. He thinks he's a tough guy. He thinks he's hard. And it's just like, bro, you're surrounded by armed men with guns. You are not tough. People talk to you like you're tough because you're with them. You're a bitch. And if I got hold of you by your neck, you'd be fucked. And you know it and I know it. Shut up. So he walks in. We are here again for human trafficking. I'm like, bro, you're a fucking idiot, bro. I'm like, you're an idiot. Again? We've been over this 3 times. There is no human trafficking. We will see what the judge says. Start stealing all my shit again. Just like last time. Stealing all the watches, which I bought for the 3rd time. This nice diamond, this big fat diamond AP. This is my 4th one. 3 of them are in decot possession today. They still have them. Start stealing all my shit. Stealing my watches. Stealing my gold. Stealing my cash. Stealing all the cars. Again, we had a nice driveway full of cars. Stole all that. Went through our entire fucking house, stole everything. Drag us out in front of the media. Can you bring the car inside the gate? No. Mr. Tough Guy Decot Detective. All the real muscle, all the real men showed me respect because warriors respect warriors. But this bitch person who wants to be a warrior, but he's a little fucking punk, he's disrespectful. It's like, it's weird how that works. It's weird how big men can respect each other, but the little pussy must be a tough guy. I won't say his name, but he knows exactly who I'm fucking. He knows who he is. It's a fucking punk. So this dickhead starts taking our cars, and we say to him, they're not our cars, bro. They belong to a rental company in Portugal. If that's true, why have you paid to modify them? I have the receipts here where you've upgraded every car. Nobody upgrades a rental car. It's like, I just had money to spend. I don't know. Well, you've upgraded them, so I will tell the judge that they're your cars. Okay, jackass. So he takes all our shit. We go back to jail. The funny thing about PTSD is, it's amazing how quickly it comes back and how hard it is to get rid of. I'm back in the cell. And I'm like, you know, that was the first time I will admit to you, Jack, that my impenetrable armor, which I had been relying on all of this time, through the jail, through the attacks, through the assaults, through the company getting closed down, through the fact that my mother had a heart attack and I couldn't go and see her in England because I was on house arrest, through the fact I couldn't see my children, through all the endless war all day, every day, through in and out of jail, the PTSD. That was the first time I was like, I might be out of power. Because when I was thrown in jail after the third raid, and when you want to play footage of the third raid is when I walked out of the gate in a daddy coin t-shirt. I got on the phone to my lawyer and I was like, I want to understand what's happening. He goes, talk to me. I said, okay. I'm stuck in Romania on house arrest. And while I'm on house arrest, they can attempt to jail me as many times as they want. He said, correct. Okay. And if they're successful, I stay in jail. He said, correct. I said, okay. And then I go to trial in Romania. He said, yes. And if I lose, I go to Rahova jail for 25 years. He said, correct. And after Rahova jail, when I'm an old man, I get extradited to the UK and I go to British jail. And then I have to face this bullshit made up charge in 2011 for assault, which they're probably going to throw away and then just go through all my Twitter for all the things I said about migrants and fuck me for that for 20 years. And he said, yes. And I said, and if I beat the Romanian case, I don't go to Rahova, but it's the same. I'm on house arrest. I go to jail a bunch of times while they try and jail me. They're probably going to get me back in jail. I beat my case in Romania. And when I beat my case in Romania, I'm instantly extradited to the UK and it all starts again. He said, yes. I was like, and while this was happening, it was when that piece of shit scumbag stabbed those 3 little girls in England, you remember? And I was doing emergency meetings saying the British government's complicit. And they were locking people up for those tweets. Do you remember? So I was like, they're going to fucking fuck me. The British government, if they get hold of me, they're going to fucking toast me for my Twitter. They're going to toast me for my emergency meetings for telling everyone that Keir Starmer fucks Ukrainian rent boys, because he does. That's why he keeps giving them billions. So I know the British government's after me. And I said to Alan, I was like, so either way, the next decade of my life is just jail, house arrest, and court. He said, yeah, either way, win or lose in Romania. And England, you don't stand a chance. I was like, I know. Everyone knows I don't stand a chance in England. I put the phone down. I looked around the jail and I was like, how the fuck do I get out of this? What do I fucking do? I haven't done anything, Jack. I haven't done anything. I started a school teaching fucking Shopify. How the fuck do I get out of this? And for this case, the Romanians found 30 new victims of human trafficking. Tristan's yoga instructor, the mother of my kids, the daughter of my gardener, any girl we had ever interacted with. They just said we had attempted to human traffic. So they just found random girls who we knew and said that we had attempted to human traffic them. Imagine that. They just find you have attempted to human traffic them. Jail. Every girl was outside the court in our defense.
Excuse me, are you one of the alleged Tate victims?
Yeah, I was listed as a victim and the court wants me to claim that I'm a victim even though I told them more than once that I'm not one. Tristan and Andrew were always very kind to me. They helped me many times and this is absurd.
After the third house raid, after a year and a half of slandering in the media, after the PTSD, after the smear attacks, after all of it, the only girl who has ever accused us of anything is girl A. Ever. So we go there in front of the judge and he says, I have a request here to jail you because there's 30 cases of human trafficking and one sex with a minor. So to the minor, like, oh, well, she's 17. At the time, you were accused to have been 26. And although that's not technically a minor, they're saying that because you were well known, you abused your power, some crap.
What country was that in?
Romania. The funny thing about that is that neither of us even slept with that girl. And she says we didn't. So that's another lie to slander us. I'm like, that girl says we didn't sleep with her. Read her fucking statement. And the judge is like, yes, the girl says you didn't sleep with her. I was like, so what the fuck are we talking about then? So it was all a setup. Because when the Brits tried to jail us the first time, and then we got out, tried to extradite us, didn't work. Tried Lucy, didn't work. Tried to take down the school, didn't work. They must have lent on the Romanians again and said, fucking get him off the fucking internet. And the Romanians said, we have nothing to get him with. And the UK said, make something up and go. So they came with 30 new victims and a pile of paper this big. I remember the NGOs Maybe we could find the tweets we're tweeting. Andrew Tate says there's no evidence in his case. What's this? And it was files all in the Romanian court with my name on them. Huge pile of files. I'll tell you what they were. Complete transcribes of my emergency meetings. And fucking transcribes of my YouTube videos. And transcribes of the surveillance they conducted on me for 2 years. And a pile of fucking bullshit from a prosecutor who decided that Tristan human trafficked his fucking yoga teacher and hit the mother of his own kid by giving her money for child support. The Romanian government is as corrupt as Zambia. It's a fucking setup. And the judge, thank God, goes through the file and goes, this is bullshit. I was like, I know. And said back to house arrest.
How were the 30 women selected?
They were literally just anyone they could find proof of a financial transfer or a text message between. Any text message, even hello, hello. But they never got our phones because we had wiped our phones. So it turns out that they had been going around and getting hold of and interviewing girls who they knew we knew. And they would go through their WhatsApp, and if they had ever spoken to us and they could find a conversation, they took their phones, downloaded that conversation, and said that we were attempting to groom them into human trafficking.
Do you think that they were just trying to siphon down which ones were most likely to turn on you?
100%. 1,000%. They were just trying to find victims. I mean, these girls were interviewed by DCAT and they were pressured to turn. And they were like, no, he hasn't done anything. Oh, but he was going to do something to you. Okay, but he didn't. But we think he was going to because he's a bad person. Haven't you seen the news? Yeah, but he didn't do anything. Yeah, but he was going to. So do you admit you're a victim? No. Okay, well, our psychologist says you're brainwashed. So you're a victim. Victim. And their proof was the screenshot of Tristan saying to his yoga teacher, yes, how much is it per hour? Yes, okay, Thursday, 2 p.m. It was a fucking clown show. But it's Romania. It's Zambia. They don't give a fuck. And the DCAT, which is the most corrupt organization on the planet, DCAT's general motto, DCAT says, it's up to a judge to decide if you're innocent or guilty. To us, you're all guilty. I don't need proof you did anything. A judge decides. If I says you're an alien, I don't even need proof. You're a fucking alien. Jail. Go see the judge. Judge decides. I'm just a guy. I just print the paper. You're a fucking alien. Deal with it. This is how they talk. So they told me. So they say openly. You mess around in Romania, you piss anyone off, maybe a judge will save you. But to us, you're guilty. Don't talk to cops. That's how they work. So this case was even more pathetic than the first one. But I had a flashback. And I had a flashback after this one night in jail. And I'm sitting there and I've lost control of my mind for correction. I always have control of my mind. I lost a percentage of my powers after Alan told me my life was effectively over. And I'm sitting there in jail and eventually they take me in front of the court and Alan flicks through the file and he goes, this one's even more stupid than the first one. There's no way you go to jail. I said, Alan, we've been here. He goes, I know, Andrew, I know, but every single one of these girls is defending you. I was like, they defended us last time. He goes, yeah, but with those girls, you knew them for a long time. There was a lot of messages between you. You were sleeping with them, whatever. These girls, you don't even know these girls. You haven't even had sex with these girls. So just, what can it be? There's no way you're going to go to jail. I was like, Alan, please don't even say that to me, please. And I remember sitting on the stand and the judge, just like the first time, said, okay, I'm going to go make my decision. Went out back for an hour. And me and Tristan just sitting there looking at each other. And when the judge came out and said, house arrest, I almost cried. Almost. I almost cried. I couldn't believe it. I was so sure I was toast. I was so sure I was going to go back to jail. I almost cried. And when we got up to leave, to go back to house arrest, and we walked out the court and walked down the stairs, there's a video. Please play the video. I walk out and I say, built different.
You are okay?
Free man. Built different. And I walk down and I say, this is disgusting to the media. And the daddy shisha, I start screaming, this is disgusting. We have kids. And I'm screaming to the media and the fucking idiots in the media are like, what about the human trafficking? Like, there's no fucking human trafficking. The fucking girls are on our side. The only girl who's ever accused us of anything is girl A, who's a fucking liar. There's no human trafficking of anyone. What the fuck are you talking about? And I do that whole speech about this is disgusting. Please play it. And we go back to our house, back to house arrest. Tristan and I sit there that night and I'm like, they're going to keep fucking coming. And they're going to get us. They're going to find something. They're going to get us. Tristan's like, but they can't get in. So they can't get in. That's good. We had to replace the door in the end because they damaged it, but they couldn't break it. So I'm sitting there and, this entire time, all these months and years, my brain is, I didn't realize I was mentally unwell until now that I'm relatively free. I wasn't normal. The pressure and stress. Imagine someone tells you you have cancer and you can die any minute, randomly. No, imagine they say that there is a particular fly in LA. And if that fly lands on you, you die. How do you drink coffee? It's only, okay, LA's a big place. That's only one fly. But how do you go outside? Like, how do you leave your window open? Like, there's this fly out there. And if it touches me, I'm over. And for a year, I'm sitting there. At any minute, I can get dragged from my life. My girlfriend would be like, hey, maybe next week we can go cinema. And I'd be like, there is no next week. There is no Wednesday. I can get dragged from my fucking house any minute. I can get taken at any time. I don't have Wednesday. I don't have next week. I don't have anything. Can we watch a movie tonight? There is no tonight. There's nothing but the pain I'm in right now. I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't plan for the future. Everything's fucked. But because I had enough mental discipline, I was just doubling down on the school. And I was planting the real world token. I launched a daddy coin and we upgraded to the real world 2.0 and the school's still doing really well. And we're under all these constant attacks. But by now I'm not making the money as I made before. Not because we don't have students. We still have 200,000 students. But my margin's gone from 80% margin down to 10% margin because I'm spending 70% on fucking government level cyber protection. Because we're getting hacked and attacked and fucking endlessly fucking DDoS attacked and endlessly trying to fucking break our systems. I'm spending millions of dollars a week keeping the school online. So now I'm running it purely just to fucking piss my enemies off. And because the BBC is saying it's dangerous, my school. So I'm like, well then fuck you. So I'm keeping my school open. I'm not even making money from it anymore, really. I'll make $2 million a month or whatever, but not like before. So I'm sitting there on house arrest and I was mentally unwell. I'm going to be honest and just tell everyone the pressure I was under, the lies, the bullshit, the endless attacks, the endless garbage, all this shit's going on. And all of it comes from England. And they're trying to convince me to kill myself.
What part of it was pissing you off the most?
I don't think it was pissing me off. I think the word is, it's the anxiety. It's the fly. You have to imagine the fly. You have to, if you really want to understand this story, you need to go sit in your bathroom for an hour without a phone. Just do an hour. You need to imagine that bathroom's covered in cockroaches. And then you need to imagine every time you go outside, there's a fly. And if it touches you, you die. And you can't stop the fly. You can't see the fly coming, but it's there. And it wants to get you. It's looking for you. And LA is a big place. But it can fly and it's looking for you. And you're in your house and they're looking to try and get you and everyone's trying to put you in jail and they're watching everything you do. They watch every emergency meeting. They watch everything. They're spying on your garden. They have drones in the air. They're watching everything. There's house arrest. There's a police car outside. All your girlfriends are getting attacked. They're trying to convince you to kill yourself. They're attacking your school. They're trying to shut that down. All on the internet. There's these hater accounts funded by NGOs and they're attacking you. And all this shit's going on. And you're just sitting there just like, I'm just a fucking guy. I was teaching Shopify. I'm just a fucking dude. And you just have to get Aikido. And fucking resist. What else are you going to do? Die, I guess. Most men in my position would have killed themselves. Most men in my position would have at least broken or cracked or said sorry or apologized or did a deal or give up. I could have gone to the decall anytime and said, okay, I'll admit I'm guilty, there's no jail. And I'll shut the school down. I'll delete the internet and I go away as a sex trafficker and I just vanish and I keep my little bit of money and I go away. Every man would have done that. All these men watching this now think they wouldn't have done that. Yes, you would have. All these tough guys, they would have fucking given up, said, yeah, as long as I don't get jail, I keep the bit of money I have saved. I'll shut the school down. I'll be gone from the internet. Andrew Tate's gone. He was a big thing. Then he was a sex trafficker. Now he lives in Vietnam. I'll just let me go away. I was like, no. Fuck Keir Starmer. Fuck the Romanian government. Fuck the Matrix. Fuck you. No. Because I was fighting them and they were frustrated. And I like to believe that as much as I was suffering, my enemies were very frustrated with me. We said in our last podcast, I said sarcastically in a hyperbolic way about an imaginary scenario where someone came to me and said, we know you're not a bad person, Andrew. You have these ideas, but not everyone's smart enough to understand your ideas. And some young men are going to misunderstand your ideas and they're going to hit their girlfriend or they're going to do something bad or kill someone. And we just want to have a nice, safe society. And if you just change the way you talk about certain things, we know you don't want anyone to get hurt. Those were real conversations. I was offered to disappear. And it's funny because they would hint. They would say, you know, you were offered this before in a more favorable scenario, which was the sponsorship contract. You didn't want it. Why don't you just go away? Just fuck off. Just go away and all of this will go away. If you go away for a year, no one's going to care about the case when it gets dropped. Then it's all gone. Just go away. I wouldn't do it. I was like, no, you started this. You started this. I had a fucking Shopify school. You started this because I got too big. I was saying the right thing. I was doing good. I was helping young men make money, helping them resist enslavement, helping them avoid student debt, helping the fucking world because I'm a good guy and you're a piece of shit. I became your enemy, but I'm still the good guy. You started this fucking fight. We're going to see it through to the fucking end. Fuck you. Not until the BBC says, not guilty, Andrew Tate was innocent, and the Romanian state owes him $1 billion in reparations. That's what I want. That's the fight you fucking started. Because my mind's fucked, Jack. You fucked up the only thing I have, which is my mental fucking health. No car matters when your fucking mind's gone. No money matters when your fucking mind is gone. You've taken the one thing from me that can make me fucking happy. So you know what? I'm not going to kill myself. You have to kill me. You want me dead, then you have to fucking do it. I'm not going to make it easy for you. You have to kill me. And that's why I decided to fight them. Not because I'm brave, and not because I believed I could win, but because I was just ready to fucking lose. I just lost it. So I was like, fuck you.
So you said no.
When Decaught told me, so Decaught took me into their office and they said, after the first raid where I didn't manage to wipe my phones, they had my phones from the first raid. And they said, we're prepared to drop everything. Make it all go away. But we need to get access to your phones. I said, why do you need to get access to my phones? We're going to drop everything. Like, oh, we just need to thoroughly conclude our investigation. And we'll give you some paperwork now in advance that you have immunity and everything's going to be dropped. It doesn't matter what's found in those phones. It doesn't matter if it's cocaine. Even if you've moved cocaine, the other guy will get in trouble, but you won't. But there may be some other people around you or whatever. Maybe they'll get criminal cases. We'll be honest with you, but you will be immune if you just open your phone. And I said, how do I know this is true? How do I know this is real? They're like, this is real. You're going to have to shut up on the internet. You're going to have to be quiet. You're going to have to go away. Your case is going to go away. You need access to your phone. Here's the deal. You're going to stop doing your emergency meetings. You're going to stop talking about it. You're not going to tweet. We're going to wait a year and a half. What I believe they were doing is giving me immunity in Romania, and then they were going to give the phone downloads to the Brits. That's what I think they were going to do. And the Brits were going to fuck me. That's what I believed. But they were telling me that you're going to be immune in Romania, and it doesn't matter what it is, all your case is going to go away. I remember sitting there going, I don't believe you. I want to do it, but I don't believe you. Like, why you don't believe us? We'll give you a paperwork. I'll give you contracts. Like, I need to trust my lawyer, and the paperwork needs to be bulletproof. I'm like, okay. So for 3 weeks, Alan and Decaught are negotiating on this paperwork, on how to get the exact paperwork that I'm happy to sign, that my case will be dropped and everything will go away if I give up access to my phones. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And every time Alan will go, you happy with this? I go and complain about this line. I just being a fucking headache for like a month. Because when they took my phones, by Romanian law, you have to tell them the password. So the first time they raided my house, they got my phone, they said, it is the law that you must tell me your password. If you do not tell me your password, you get an automatic 2-year jail sentence. And I said, well, I'm not denying. Give me my password. I'd love to give you my password. Unfortunately, because this is a stressful situation, I forgot. I don't remember. Tell us. I'm sorry, sir. I have forgotten. I don't remember. So I can give it to you. Because they can't prove in court that I remember it. They can prove I said no. I didn't say no. I forgot. And I don't have a number password on my phone because I'm not a dickhead. I have a nice long multi-character, 40 character long, exclamation marks, fucking dashes. I got my whole fucking law. You can type it. I tested it on one of those password testers. They're like 4 trillion years. Because everyone thinks the police have magic powers. They don't. They can just brute force a phone. That's all they can do. They plug it into something called Cellbrite. This is for all the people at home. They plug it in, and then it overrides the automatic lockout, and then they can just attempt passwords on repeat until they get in. So if you have a 4-digit number password, because they get unlimited attempts, and because there's not that many opportunities, or not that many combinations, they'll get in an hour. And if you have a simple word, they'll get in an hour. But if you have a password like mine, 3 trillion years. Space aliens will eventually read my phones because I'm sure they're still trying. Go for it. But I forgot the password. It was stressful. It was a stressful time, Jack. So we're doing this paperwork. Eventually, after I've nitpicked every single thing, they bring me in there. And I'm like, okay, let's go over this again. They said, okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be given immunity in Romania for anything that's found on that phone. Your current case is going to be dropped. You're going to be quiet on the internet. We're going to let all the media buzz die down. All of this is going to go away. And when everything's over and no one cares about it anymore, your case will be dropped and you will not go to jail in Romania. And then you can go deal with your English problem. But for the next year, while your case is nice and quiet, you get to live in Romania. You don't get extradited, live a nice time, stay in Romania. You won't be allowed to leave the country, but you'll stay here. And then when no one talks about it, we'll drop your Romanian case, and then all your British problems, we have nothing to do with them. We're Romanian prosecutors. It's like, okay. And that's the truth. Like, yeah, that's the truth. Because it took a whole month to sort these papers out. And I took the papers, and I was like, I forgot. I threw the papers back. I forgot what? I forgot my password. Sorry. Can't give it to you. I don't remember. And the rage on their faces, because I had wasted an entire month of their life signing these papers back and forth, promising them that I'm going to give them what they wanted. And they're like, you know, we could put you back in jail. It's like, for what? They're like, interfering with police, some garbage, interfering with police process, something. I was like, my friend, whether you put me in jail or not, I forgot. And they didn't do shit. I went back to house arrest. That's how I declined their fucking offer. Fuck them. They started this war.
Did you realize a lot of people don't think about, I guess, in game theory, like you have like masters of the game and you are someone with, I guess, elite pattern recognition that defected, you know? And you might have assumed at the time, or at least thought, like maybe there's a chance that they'll actually let me go, but it never makes sense for the game masters to actually let someone who's outside of the system go.
Of course. Of course. I sat and thought. My thinking at this point is this. I'm toast. And I'm fighting this war because they begun it, and I'm fighting this war because I've lost my mind. And I've lost my mind because of the pressure I'm under. And the reason I know I'm toast is very simple. If the Romanian state don't find me guilty, they owe me $1 billion. They destroyed my school. They destroyed the image of the most Googled man on the planet. They've unfairly imprisoned me 3 times. I spent 3 years locked in my house. I didn't see my kids. My mom had a heart attack. I couldn't see my legal counsel. I was in a jail, which Romania pays hundreds of millions of dollars a year to the European Union in fines for the unfair treatment of prisoners because it's worse than pigs are kept in farms. They owe me $1 billion. Are the Romanians going to let me go so they have to pay me $1 billion? Let's all be fucking smart here. No. Why the fuck would Romania let me off? They'll just find me guilty. It saves $1 billion. They're not that rich, bro. It's a poor country and it's a corrupt shithole. It's got the same judicial fucking integrity as Zambia. You think they're going to let me go after I'm on emergency meetings calling them corrupt and then pay me $1 billion? Never. So I, this entire time, am struggling mentally because I believe that it's over. But I have come to the conclusion, like a kamikaze pilot, that it's going to be a beautiful death. I don't think I'm going to win, Jack. It's just going to be a beautiful death in a big fireball. Glory for Japan. I think it's over. I don't believe in victory on any level. Neither does Tristan. And we talk every day about how we're glad we get to die together. That's it. So after the 3rd arrest, and I come out and I scream, this is disgusting in the cameras, we go back to house arrest. This is now 3 years into this fucking saga. No girls accuse me. The media says I'm a human trafficker. Everyone's saying I'm dangerous to women. The only girl who's ever accused me is Girl A. Girl A, I'm going to talk about her history in a minute. I go back to house arrest. And finally, because after these 3 years, I've never had a trial. I've never had a chance to present evidence or anything. I've never had a chance to say, oh, by the way, do you know Girl A accused 10 other men of sexual assault? Do you know Girl A accused her father of sexual assault? Do you know Girl A is on psychiatric drugs? Do you know Girl A has been sectioned? Do you know, I don't have a chance. I have the evidence, but I've never had a chance to present it.
What was that last part you said? Girl A has been
Sectioned.
What's that mean?
Taken to a mental institution against her will.
Got it.
Finally, I get a trial date after these 3 years. I'm like, finally, I get a chance to present my evidence. But before you go to trial in Romania, there's something called the preliminary chamber. And the preliminary chamber is basically an overview of the case to check, not the evidence of the case, to check that the case was constructed legally, to check how the evidence was constructed and if it was legally put together before the case goes to trial. Because they used to have problems in Romania where people would go to trial with cases and they do the whole trial and at the end find out there was no warrant. So they had to throw all the evidence out, and then people who they knew were guilty would walk. So now before they go to trial, they have to check everything was done correctly. We go to the preliminary chamber. It's two-stage. You have stage one and you have the appeal. We go to the preliminary chamber, and my lawyer says, here are 23 pages of laws that DCAUT has broken while constructing this file. The translator they used didn't have a translation certificate. The warrant they used to raid the house had the wrong address. It was a fucking shit show. 23 pages of broken laws. Funnily enough, after this day, when the preliminary chamber started, I want to add this point in because it makes it funny. It was one of the funny things that happened. I got all my cars back. I went to do a judge rule. After I walked out and said, this is disgusting, a Portuguese billionaire from a company in Portugal with a Portuguese lawyer put papers into the Romanian system saying that his assets for his rental company had been seized and stolen unfairly because he just rented them to some guy. And a Portuguese lawyer flew to Romania and went to court and said, I'm representing a rental company in Portugal, which rents cars to this guy, and my company has lost assets, and my company has nothing to do with human trafficking, so we deserve them back. And the judge said, yeah, you're right. You should get them back. So this day, when the preliminary chamber began, that little piece of shit, that little fucking detective who took the cars with you modified the cars. He had to take all the cars and drive them back to my address. White 812 competition, $1.5 million. All of them, all my fucking expensive cars. He had to bring them all back because they weren't mine. I was like, hey, bro, thanks for bringing them back. Told you they weren't mine. Well, the judge says they're not yours. I was like, bro, they are mine. You know they're mine. Never seen a man so mad in his life. I'm like, park it over here. And he would just dump it somewhere. You park it. So you took it, dickhead. So we're having an argument with this guy to bring me all my cars back. They kept my watches. They kept my gold. They kept my cash. They kept the house. They kept all that shit. But he had to bring me my cars back. Sorry. He had to bring the Portuguese guy his cars back. Because some genius, some fucking smart, handsome guy. Funny story. Anyway, so I got all my cars back. Please put that clip in. So we have the preliminary chamber. And we give 23 pages of broken laws. Our judge, this is the biggest case in Romanian history.
What year is this in month?
This will be after the daddy arrest jail time, 2023 September-ish.
So right when we did a podcast and you went to jail.
Correct. I went to jail very soon after our podcast, didn't I? That was after they got me again. Yeah. Yeah. So
sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's just hard for me to remember the dates of it all and when I was free, when I was out, because I was like out and then back and then out and then back. So I get put back in house arrest. We go to the preliminary chamber. This is the biggest case in Romanian history. And our judge, it's her first ever case. Some brand new woman, younger than me. It's her first ever case. No, I think before that she was dealing with traffic tickets. And now she's dealing with the Andrew Tate case. I'm like, that's suspicious, isn't it, Alan? Why would they give this case? He goes, oh, it's a lottery system. I'm like, which move would be good for her career? To help us or to fuck us? And he's like, well, to fuck you, of course. I'm like, okay, great.
Did you have a disproportionate amount of female judges?
Yes, but the woman who let me out was a female. So I can't say anything bad about that because the first time I got out of jail was a woman. And plenty of men fucked me. But then the second time, it was a panel of judges. No, it was a panel of judges the first and the second time. The third one, when I got arrested in the daddy t-shirt, was a man. And the man said no jail, house arrest. He was a man. But anyway, this young woman, I'm like, okay, well, she's a judge, so she's done her job, whatever. We give her the 23 pages of broken laws. I say to Alan, what's our chance of beating this in preliminary chamber? He said 100%. I said, why? He goes, there's no way. They didn't have a warrant for the things they did because they had the wrong address on the warrant, which means anything they took from the house, they can't use. Their translations, the translator they used, didn't have an English degree. The girls who they're saying are brainwashed by the psychologist never met the girls. The psychologist signed a piece of paper saying the girls she had never spoken to are brainwashed. He goes, this is the most garbage ever. Of course you're going to be preliminary chamber. I'm like, Alan, you said this a lot. He goes, but last time I said it, you didn't go to jail. He goes, at the beginning of all this, when they set you up, there was all this heat. Now everyone knows you're innocent. Everyone in Romania knows, everyone on the internet knows, everyone knows you're innocent. They can't stitch you up like they did at the beginning and put you in jail. They can't stitch you up anymore because everyone knows you're innocent. And last time I said you weren't going to go to jail, and I told you that case was bullshit, you didn't go to jail. We're going to win the preliminary chamber because they've broken every law. And I'm like, why did DCOT break the laws? He goes, they probably were told to do it in a rush, probably hastily. And also, he said, I'll be honest with you, in the Romanian system, often they do break laws. But in the end, they get the payoff. He explained that in Romania, though, DCOT will break a bunch of laws to get a drug dealer. And then they'll go to the judge and say, okay, we broke a bunch of laws, yes. But here's the cocaine. You want to let him out? And in Romania, they'll overlook the broken laws because they have the cocaine. He goes, but the problem with you is they broke a bunch of laws to find human trafficking and all the girls are on your side.
There are no victims in this case.
I can say that DCOT is trying to manipulate the girls, saying only what is beneficial to them.
So they thought, well, we'll just hastily throw this together because Andrew's on podcasts like Fresh and Fit talking about pimping.
Having sex was the easy part.
That's when the game starts.
That's when the game starts. Now I need her to quit her job, leave her house, move in with me, work on webcam, do as I say, share me with other women, and give me her money. That's the hard part.
And that he has all these women and that he cheats on these girls. And then when we throw together this bullshit case, we'll get all these girls and we'll pressure him saying, Andrew's a cheater. He cheats on you. Why don't you say you're a victim? But every single girl's defended you. He goes, they've never had this before. Normally when you say to a man's girl that he cheats, she rolls. Your girls are like, I love him anyway. They've never had this. He goes, so they haven't got the cocaine. And that's why the fact they broke the laws matters because they don't have the payoff. So don't worry about it. So we go to the preliminary chamber. We spend a few weeks with this nice young judge and we explain everything to her. We give her the pages of broken laws and then it comes back. Case is fine. Proceed. And even Alan said, this is a bigger stitch up than your initial jailing. This is a bigger stitch up. This decision is more corrupt than your initial jailing. No one can get through preliminary chamber with a case this bad. And their plan was exactly what I described. Break every law, do it in a rush. UK said hit me. Come up with some crap, raid my house, do whatever it takes, base it on lies, and then get enough girls in a room. Because you know what they did with all the girls they interviewed? They had a leaderboard. All my girlfriends, they had a leaderboard. And they went through all my bank accounts and all my bank transfers and everywhere I'd ever gone on holiday. And they had all their names. So imagine they're bringing a girl. Let's make up a girl. Anna. Hello, Anna. Hi. We're here to talk to you because you're number 7 on Andrew's list. What's Andrew's list? Number 1 is Mary. He's given her $400,000 and he's taken her to Italy and Croatia and Spain. Number 2 is Bethany. Bethany had $385,000 and he bought her a car. You're number 7 because he bought you a handbag on your birthday and he did take you on one holiday, but you can see that financially, because Andrew's a criminal and all his money is financial crime, financially, you get a lot less than the other girls. So did you know that he didn't love you? And you're so low down the list? And it's fucking smart as fuck because women love money. These girls were so mad the other girls got more money. They'd leave the DCOT thing and call me. I'd be like, what happened? Why did you buy her this? I'm like, whoa. This is my life. My life is on the line. Stop. What did they ask you? Yeah, but you bought that bitch a handbag. I'm like, what the fuck? The girls cared more that I bought a bitch more shit than they cared about me going to jail forever. Because women only care about money. The bottom line of it. Well, you love her more. So that's how Decolt were trying to get the girls to roll on me. But none of them did. Not a single girl rolled on me. Every single one, no matter how much they upset them, no matter what they showed them, no matter what they told them, at the end of it said, still love him. Nope. Then they got the psychologist in to say they're brainwashed. And they'd say, the psychologist report said, we showed her that other girls got more money and she still didn't turn. And my lawyer was like, this has never happened in Romanian history. When you get a gangster from Romania and you drag his wife in and show that he spent more money on other bitches, she rolls. Because your girls just don't roll. And Decolt are furious. So that worked out well for me. So that's why they broke all the laws. But the preliminary chamber said, go ahead. And I said to Alan, if this is a bigger stitch-up than the initial jailing, what chance do I have of winning this case? And Alan said, I'm very concerned. We need to get back in touch with the American embassy. We need to tell the American embassy and show them the judge's decision, this young, brand new judge who's given this decision to fuck you. We need to show the laws they've broken. We need to get American litigation involved. We have to get an American judge to look at this because this Romanian judge is fucking useless. This is either corruption or ineptitude. Either one, your life's on the line. We need to get to the embassy. So I start calling the embassy. Can I have an appointment? Can I have an appointment? I'm an American citizen. I'm an American citizen. They're busy. Can't get an appointment with the embassy. And then Providence. You know, in this story, there's so much luck. The Romanians, in their absolute hubris, decided to overthrow their own election. I don't know if you heard about this. I was locked in my house for the 3rd year with no end in sight, and I've just lost the preliminary chamber. And Romania has an election for who the leader is going to be. And all of the people vote for a man called Calin Georgescu, who is a right-wing, Trump-esque figure who believes in restoring the sanctity of Romania. He's anti-Ukraine war. He doesn't want to give them any money. He doesn't want any migrants. He's a right-wing candidate. He wins the presidential election by a landslide with 65% of the vote. And the next day, the Constitutional Court cancels the election, says it was corrupted by Russian interference, call him a Russian agent, and send him to jail. The prosecutor which sent him to jail is the same prosecutor as me. The same prosecutor who locked up the rightful president of Romania and thrown him in jail is my prosecutor. The attack dog for the Matrix, I assume. So he goes to jail, and they start to redo the election. Now, only 3 countries in history have undone an election. I believe one is Kyrgyzstan, one is Mongolia, and the 3rd is Romania. That's how corrupt this shithole is. That when someone wins, they go, the Russians interfered. Now, the truth is this. Every European country rigs its elections. AfD in Germany, it's rigged. They let AfD win a little bit, but not properly. Marine Le Pen in France, she caught a criminal case just before she could win. Europe rigs their elections, but Romania's Romania. So they got told to rig it, and they were like, yes, my friend, I will rig it, okay. Didn't rig it, because they're fucking useless. Fucked it up, and had to run and panic to undo it, just like they did my case. Just fucking threw it together slapdash, because they're useless. When the Germans rigged their election, it's done right. So AfD wins 22%, but not quite enough to get the seat. Almost there. Keep voting, guys. Keep voting. We'll vote our way out of this. The Romanians fucked up their rigging. So they had to redo the whole election. Now imagine this. I've been locked in my house for 4 years without charge. I'm an American citizen, the only American citizen they've ever jailed. All of my victims are on my side. And for the first time, the entire international community is talking about how fucking corrupt Romania is. That's great for me. For the first time, everyone's on Twitter. Romania's a fucking dump. They overthrew their election. What a setup. Why is their court saying he's a Russian agent? Why is it the same prosecutor as Andrew's prosecutor? This is a fucking setup. And all over Romanian news, they're even saying on the Romanian news, our democratic and judicial processes are under so much scrutiny internationally, we look like a banana republic. This looks worse than Africa. We look like a fucking shithole. No one believes any of our processes anymore. And people are on the Romanian news reporters are saying, and now the Tate brothers are involved in every conversation, because now, after protesting their innocence for 4 years or 3 years, now everyone's saying they might actually be innocent. because we look like fucking clowns, which they did. So all of this is happening. And then we go to the appeal stage of the preliminary chamber, which is a higher judge than the little girl they got in to rig it. And during all this mess with international scrutiny, with Trump just one president-elect at that time, so now they're scared because Trump's coming back. The Dems have just lost. The EU's rigged the Romanian election. All this international pressure. Trump's not president, but he's president-elect. And Vance is talking about the integrity of Europe. And Vance mentions Romania. The Romanians are panicking. The Americans are watching. Trump is coming back. The big boss is coming back. Everyone knows. Panicking. I go to the appeal for the preliminary chamber. My lawyer gives them the same page of 25 broken laws to the same case file, the same page of broken laws. We go to the appeal judge. And the appeal judge comes back with 210 pages of broken laws and says, I'm sorry, lawyer. You're wrong. They didn't break 23 pages of laws. They broke 210 pages of laws. Dismissed. Because with all that international scrutiny, with J.D. Vance, with Trump coming back, with everyone watching, all of a sudden the judge knew they had to do their job. And the judge came back and said, here's 210 pages of broken laws. This entire case, the 4 years of house arrest, the jailing, the missing my mother after she had a heart attack, the PTSD, the repeated attacks, everything thrown out. Then the judge says something really weird. But we're keeping the jailing conditions. He must remain on house arrest. Because we're returning the file to the prosecutor to amend these 210 pages of mistakes. So this was a really weird experience. And then I posted a video, please put the video in here, of me sitting in my podcast studio, ranting to camera about how all the things that happened to me should have never happened to me.
I will continue to fight. I'm an innocent man. I've done nothing wrong. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to do a deal. I'm not going to lay down. I'm going to fight this absolutely tooth and nail.
Because the case has just been thrown out. The case got dismissed. Case over. Case is gone. So I go and I talk to my lawyer. I said, so they've thrown the case out? He goes, yes. Why am I still locked in my house? He goes, that has never happened in history before. Never in history has a case been thrown out of court and the conditions for which have been applied to a suspect have remained. I currently have, and from that point onwards, had no active case in the court. I was as free and innocent as any other person. Why am I locked in my house?
Did you have a case in the UK at the time?
I had the case search on extradite before.
Okay, got it.
I had that one. So who is telling the Romanian state, no matter what they do, to keep me locked in my house at least? Well, we're going to get there. So they're like, and they also kept my stuff. So the case which they raided my house, locked me in my house for, locked me in jail for, and stole all my things for has been thrown out. But I'm still locked in my house and they've kept my things. Make that make sense. So her ruling said 210 pages of laws have been broken. This case is a fabrication. This case is fallacy. It's literally fantasy. And the prosecutor can now take the case back and fix every single one of these problems. In the meantime, we're going to leave Andrew locked in his house. So the file goes back to the prosecutor. Now, how can a prosecutor fix the fact that he didn't have a warrant when he did something? Do they have a fucking time machine? No. The prosecutor cannot fix this mess. Of course he can't. How can he fix all the fucking mess he made? Because he lied. How can he fix the fact that none of the girls turned on me like he wanted? He can't. So the prosecutor now has this file on his desk, and I'm left on house arrest. This is December of 2023 under President Joe Biden. So when everyone talks about Trump saved Andrew, I think Trump's aura of coming into power may have saved me. I think J.D. Vance highlighting the corruption of Europe may have saved me. But nobody fucking helped me. Nobody gave me a call. Ever. So I'm locked in my house in January. Locked in my house in February. Then I get a phone call. DCAT want to see you. I go to the DCAT office. I'm like, so what are you going to do with your file that got thrown out, dipshit? How are you going to fix it? You haven't got a fucking time machine, have you? He goes, you'll be surprised what we can do with the file. And the criminal facts will be decided by a court. Some bullshit answer. I'm like, yeah, well, basically you ain't got shit. And you know you ain't got shit. So eventually this is going to blow up in your fucking stupid face. He goes, anyway, I didn't bring you here to talk about this. I've decided you can have your passports and you can go. I'm like, what? He goes, you can go now. So I can just go? Wait. I was locked in my house and I was guilty and I was innocent. I did all these bad things and you're going to put me back in jail and all this crap. And now you're just saying, here, take my shit, go. Get passports, leaves the room. First time in 4 years. But this time I was still locked in my house. I just get my passport back. I look at Alan like, what the fuck? I can literally leave? He goes, yeah, you got your passport, you can just leave. And then Alan goes, but don't fuck it up. Don't say anything on Twitter. Go dark on Twitter. Let's organize you a jet. Let's get you out of here. I was like, does this mean my case is over? And he goes, officially and unofficially are different answers. But if they really thought you did something and never given you your passport, like, why have they given it to me? He goes, because they know they set you up and they're scared of it all coming out. They're scared of it all coming out, that the UK made them do it and that you're American citizens. And now Trump's coming back. And one day someone's going to ask questions about why this happened, who did it, why the Tates were fucked when they haven't done anything wrong. It's going to come on someone's desk and he doesn't want the heat anymore. Because Trump's coming back. They've just overthrown their election. Everyone knows they're a corrupt dump. And the whole news in Romania is talking about not just the presidential election, but you and Tristan. So they just want you gone. You're a thorn now. You're annoying now. They don't want the news to talk about you anymore. They want you to leave. And I was like, but what about the English extradition? He goes, well, your case isn't officially over because yes, it's been thrown out, but it's gone back to the prosecutor. So it's still technically open. So UK can't extradite you. And I thought back to myself in that cell when I thought I had no way out. And I'm like, so I get to go to America? He goes, yeah. I was like, I remember being in jail when I thought the next 10 years are just jail, house arrest, get extradited to England. He goes, that's what it should have been. I've never seen anything like this. Just don't go to England. I said, don't worry, I'm not going to go there. And then we got on a plane and we flew to Florida. And I expected to return to a hero's welcome, Jack. All this shit I've been through, all this crap, I expected to come back as an American citizen to a hero's welcome. And Ron DeSantis and his little girlfriend, AG, started running their mouths that we're pieces of shit and they're going to investigate us and we deserve to go to jail. And my heart was broken. I couldn't believe it. And I was tweeting every day at the AG, tag at the AG, come get me, come arrest me. I left America when I was 8. What have I done? Nothing. You know what the AG did? The AG of Florida, Olfmeyer, whatever his name is, and Ron DeSantis, those two little fucking homos, really pieces of shit people. To be honest with you, I think Ron was ambushed. I think when the media said, Andrew Tate's on a plane, he's a human trafficker and he's coming here. I think he didn't know anything and he was just like, oh, human traffickers are not good people. I think it was a mistake from him. I forgive him. But I don't forgive his stupid little fucking AG who wanted to make a name for himself and double his Twitter followers and started opening an investigation into me the second I landed for no reason. No crime. Usually there's a crime, you find the guy who did the crime. You don't find a guy and try and find crimes he did. That's communism.
Who is the Attorney General?
James Uthmeyer.
Got it. Okay.
Olfmeyer, something like this. So he opened an investigation into me the second I land as an American citizen, saying that I'm a human trafficker and I'm a bad person and all this garbage. I expected to come home to a fucking hero's welcome. And I did a podcast with Candace Owens about that because even she said this is insane. You know what he did? He wrote to the Brits saying, do you want me to arrest him and send him to you? You got an active warrant. Do you want me to send him to you? I'll come get him and send him to you. He wrote to the Brits. And I'm sitting in Florida in Miami. And I refuse to leave, so I keep tweeting. Come get me, Ron. Come get me, James. Come get me. Come get me. Come get me. Because, Jack, I've lost my mind. I finally get free from this fucking mess. I come back to the country my father served for. And they fucking open a case on me and start saying I'm a human trafficker. Why? Because Romania said so, the country that can't even have an election? And now we're going to repeat what they said like it means a fucking thing? I come to Florida where I'm suing girl A and I'm attacked by the state. And I did a podcast with Candace on it because I was so flabbergasted. That piece of shit writes to the Brits. But I think the Brits are in a quagmire because, like Moby Dick, in their haste to get hold of me, they didn't quite understand the complexities of extradition and also the brutal inefficiency of Romanian law. Because the Brits tried to extradite me and the warrant has been satisfied. I will be extradited when my Romanian case is complete. My Romanian case is on a prosecutor's desk. If the prosecutor closes the case, Romania owes me $1 billion. So it's in the prosecutor's interest to keep the case open on his desk, a case he can't fix, until he retires. Because if he closes it, they owe me $1 billion. And the UK can't get me as long as that case is open. The UK are pissed, calling the Romanians saying, close the case if you don't have a case. And the Romanians are saying, we're not saying we don't have a case. We're saying it's difficult to fix, but we're going to try because if they close it, they owe me $1 billion. So the UK, when James Altmaier wrote to them, were like, we can't technically do that legally because we've already tried to extradite him and the extradition warrant has been satisfied. So now what happens? When I fly around the world, like I was just in Hong Kong, is that the Foreign Office of the UK call the hotel and try and get me kicked out of the hotel. That's how petty and pathetic they are. The owner of the Rosewood Hong Kong, which is the top ranked hotel in the world, by the way, number one, it won in 2026 the best hotel in the world. The owner of the hotel is a friend of mine. And he came to me and said, you will not believe the British government just called me and told me that you're a criminal and that you have an active extradition warrant out of Romania and that we should kick you out of this hotel. I said, the British government has time to call hotels and try and make me, I mean, what does that do? It doesn't extradite me. It just inconveniences me. I have to go get another hotel. They are spending government money trying to inconvenience me by getting me kicked out of hotels because they can't extradite me because the Romanians won't close the case because the Romanians owe me money because I haven't done anything.
They also released, an article about how they could raid your phone without, they could ask people who were non-Hong Kong citizens for their passcode if they're going through an airport the same time you were there.
Correct.
That was something I noticed.
Correct. In fact, that article came out in Hong Kong when they changed the law in Hong Kong about raiding people's phones and how they could instantly force you to give them the password and you're not allowed to forget it. I was on a plane an hour later. I left instantly because that law was changed for me. Because England still has massive influence in Hong Kong because of the history of Hong Kong. So I believe that was all about trying to get into my phones, which the Brits are still trying to do to this day. Because the Brits have an active case. Because remember, I assaulted someone in 2011. You know what's really interesting? Guess who else assaulted someone in 2011? Tristan. Both of us. Funny that. That's not a coincidence. That's not a fucking setup. Every time I go anywhere, when I land in Hong Kong, the newspapers start printing. Andrew Tate, wanted by England. The Prime Minister of England said, Andrew Tate is this. Because the British Foreign Office call the media and say, lie about him in the media. They call the hotel and say, kick him out of the hotel. Because they can't stand when they see videos of me walking down the street and thousands of young men going, top G, top G, top G. Because that's why it all started. Because that's what they're fucking scared of. Me inspiring young men to tell these fucking clowns to fuck off. Because they are destroying society on purpose, destroying masculinity on purpose, because we are the last resistance against enslavement. We are the revolution which is coming. Young men are the revolution which is going to finally overthrow this bullshit. And that's why they're trying to delay it as long as possible so they can steal. So my current legal predicament is this. I have an active case in UK. I have an active case in Romania. And I'm here in America. And I'm here in America to sue Girl A. Now, when I began my lawsuit against Girl A when I first got out of jail, it started getting really expensive. You know, when you're trapped in a web as a fly, there's two spiders. One's the government, and the others are lawyers. Everyone's hungry. So you're there, and it started to get really expensive to fight against Girl A. I'm like, she's some little psychotic liar. Why is this so expensive? And they said, she has 11 lawyers. How did she get 11 lawyers? And they said, well, her entire legal defense is being funded by a U.S. aid-funded NGO. Also, in disclosure, we have discovered that 3 days before she contacted Tristan and asked to come to Miami, she was paid $30,000 by the NGO. So a liberal NGO gave $30,000 to Girl A. She went to Romania for 5 days, made a false accusation, and vanished. The Romanian state then, at the behest of the British, used corruption to completely fucking destroy our lives where we stood no chance of survival. We somehow get out, and in an American court, bring Girl A to court, And the NGO gets 11 of the best lawyers in the world, $10 million deep in legal fees, trying to stop the case going forward and get it thrown out so she doesn't get to pose on a stand on TV and prove this whole thing from the start was a setup. From the beginning. And all of it happened because I had too many clippers selling my school, became the most Googled man in the world, and they know that men are the enemy to what they're doing to the world. The more masculine a population, the harder it is to subjugate them, and they know that. So me saying go to the gym, stick up for yourself, get a Bugatti, be a man, work hard, whatever, considered an act of terror by the UK government. Lucy Williams, the BBC. You walk around with your Bugatti and your cigar in a misogynistic way. Please play the clip.
Financial success with a Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
How does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with misogyny?
Doesn't even make any fucking sense. She's an idiot, a mouthpiece for the propaganda machine. All of this, from the very beginning, was a set-up. And now we're at the stage where they couldn't get the case thrown out. They couldn't get it to go away. She will be deposed, and the case will go ahead. And that only happened 2 weeks ago. And for the first time in a long time, since that happened, since the NGO across the last 3 years with every delay tactic, with every attempt to get this case thrown out, with anything it would take to make this case go away, when they have finally failed, when the Floridian government investigated us and failed, when the UK government has their bullshit warrant they can't execute, when the Romanians have failed with 3 different house raids to put us in jail and all of their case was thrown out, when we're that innocent and we're here in America, finally, after that happened and they knew this girl's going to end up on the stand, I've started to get messages again. Because I'm about to win, Jack. You know, the silver lining to all this is, and I'm going to answer your original question because I haven't forgotten. I remember, it's just been a long answer. The 3 lives. First, they try and shut you up. They tried that. Everyone they silenced before me went away. I got bigger. First guy in history. Now, if you silence someone, everyone's copied my tactic. But I invented it. Second, you try and put him in jail. Third, you kill him. I am lucky that I had the past I had. I'm lucky I had a webcam studio. That's not human trafficking. There's OnlyFans girls all over LA. It's not illegal. I'm lucky I had lots of girlfriends. Lucky I slept with a lot of women. Lucky I've made racist jokes. Lucky I've done a bunch of things. Lucky I bought cars. Lucky I missed a little bit of tax. Because the UK government, by the way, when I was in jail, when I was on house arrest, all that money they froze in August when they deleted all my things, the mass banning, when they deleted me from everything and all the apps on my phone were frozen, they froze all my bank accounts. The UK government decided that was proceeds of crime and stole it all. It's only 4 or 5 million I kept in there, but they kept it all. Of course they did. I'm lucky I did these things because killing people is messy. And killing people makes them a hero. So when they decided I had to go after the first life of deleting me failed because of the affiliates, they thought, well, killing him is messy and it makes him a hero and it proves him right about everything the Matrix said. Luckily, this guy has lived such a fucking interesting life, we can find something to pin on him. We have the corrupt Romanian state. We have a bunch of women he's fucked. We can lean on the women. We can pressure the girls. We can get the leaderboard of how much he spent on each girl. We'll get one girl to cry rape and we'll get him, bang him up. Why kill him? In fact, it's more torturous to leave him in that jail. It's worse than death. And they're right, it is. I'd rather die than spend my life in there. If you live too clean, let's imagine you pay your taxes and you get married and you're a good Christian man and you do the right thing all the time and they need to get rid of you and there's seriously no traction for option 2. There's not a single thing they can find to charge you with. You know what happens? Some crazy guy shoots you in the neck while you're speaking at a rally. So if option 2 isn't even feasible, they jump right to option 3. They wanted to kill me, but they thought his past is messy enough that we can get him. We can set him up. That's the only reason I'm not dead. And the only reason they want me to kill myself is because then I'd lose aura as a hero. That's why when I kept saying, you have to kill me, they didn't want to do it. They kept believing if we keep relying on the corruption of the Romanian state, we're going to get him. Because he has fucked women. I've fucked women. It's true. I've made racist jokes. That's true. It's enough. We can get something. If you're like Charlie and you're too clean, they can't get you. And then you really die. So the reason I feel so sorry for what happened to Charlie is I know how these people work. And I know they've sat around a table, just like they did with me. With me, they sat around the table like, he's in Romania, corrupt. Here, he's fucked lots of women. He talks on the internet. He didn't pay this bit of tax back in 2011. Whatever, fucking get him. With Charlie, they're like, taxes are paid. Never had a speeding ticket. Married his wife. Never called the cop. It's clean as a fucking whistle. What can the DOJ get this guy for? Nothing. Then you gotta kill him. So for Charlie, they skip stage 2. For me, my silver lining is I've lived an interesting enough life for them to attempt stage 2. But that doesn't mean I've ever broken the law. Doesn't mean I've ever done anything wrong. Doesn't mean what happened to me was fair. None of this should have fucking happened to me, ever. And now that girl A, who began it all, is about to be deposed, the messages are back. Coincidentally, she wants to settle. The number for the sponsorship contract was $50 million across 3 years. And I've just been offered $50 million if I drop my case, if I don't mention it ever again, and I shut up. But then I don't get my day in the sun, Jack. Then I don't get to put her on the stand and everyone say what she did. And everyone apologize to me. And finally, all my suffering was worth it. Because if I take $50 million, my life doesn't change. I have enough money. Not the richest man in the world, but I've done well. I'm a smart guy. But I want everyone to see how I was set up. But if I turn down the money that made them use option 1 and 2, and then I turn it down again, they only have option 3 left. And that's why we're making this video. Because I have a terrible suspicion that I won't make it to trial. And if that happens, that's when I want you to release this video. That's where we currently are right now in my entire legal predicament. And they know they are fucked on every level. On the funding of this fucking NGO, on this fucking liar, her being paid in advance, her legal defense, the Romanian state, the British corruption, all of this fucking comes crashing down because they tried to get one guy, me, for doing what? Having a school, encouraging young men to go to the fucking gym. Trial's in December. It's currently May. I'm going to go to Kazakhstan and hide in the mountains for a while. I'm going to pop back up in December. And if I make it, it's going to be Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, times 1,000. Because the evidence in our thought, you'd be amazed how, in fact, I think the British state are going to be very unhappy when they see that we have the letters from the Foreign Office to the Romanians. I have everything. I managed to get everything. Because when you enact yourself with a corrupt mercenary like the Romanian state, they turn both ways. Oh, the Brits made us do it. Once it's not in their favor, they're all tough guys when you need them to do something. They're like, oh, England told us to. I don't hear, look, England. But my problems are beginning again, Jack. I'm back to where I was at the beginning of this story, with strange offers and weird messages and a feeling that something is coming. And I don't know what it is.
I'll let you answer this however you would like to, but the NGOs, do college endowments invest in those NGOs?
Big education is exactly the same as big pharma. Big education has the largest racket on the planet because they have a monopoly over lending money to young people. An 18-year-old cannot access money to start a business, and they cannot access money to buy a house, and they cannot access money for the stock market or a car. They can only access money for a scam education that doesn't work. They have a monopoly over indebting slaves, putting slaves in debt when they are teenage. That is one of the most powerful rackets on the planet. If I told everyone I went up against Big Pharma and they came for me, they'd understand it. I went up against big education. Oh, the schools are good. No, they're not. The schools use the banks to enslave the populace. The schools are where they teach everyone these liberal ideas. The schools are indoctrination camps. Not only am I taking money out of their pockets by teaching our people, I'm also taking their ability to brainwash people away from them because they're joining my school and learning the opposite idea. People were joining my school saying, I've joined your school to make enough money to go to university. And once they started making money, they're like, I don't need university because my school works. The reason they need a monopoly over lending money to young people is that if there was fair choice, if you gave every young person 100 grand and said, decide what you want to do with it, no one would choose a degree. I said, for $49 a month, I'll teach you how to make money online. You can spend that $49 on Pizza Hut or me. And they still chose me because my product works. The school works. We teach people how to make money for real. It works. And that's what they're scared of. They can't call it a scam. The BBC themselves can't print the school's a scam. Every time, please play this clip on LBC radio. Someone called into the radio and they were talking about my school saying it's a scam. He said, I'm a student. I make loads of money. I've retired my mom. I bought a house.
He has personally helped me.
How's he helped you? Tell me.
Because I left my job. I was a part of his Hustlers University. One part is 12 areas where verified millionaires teach you how to become wealthy. I was earning about, after taxes, probably 9K before, and now I'm well over that, and I can provide for my family. And I'm only 23 years old. I've retired my mother, and I also have taken care of my
You have retired your mother?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Is she a racehorse?
Is it not good to take care of your family?
Oh, but it's still a scam. He goes, how's it a scam? I paid $49 and made $100,000. It's a scam. How is that a fucking scam? No, what's a scam is what you teach. They've tried to slander the school and it's so effective they can't. So all they can do instead is try and hack it, take it down, and say the person who started it is a human trafficker or kill me. NGO's name is La Strada. La Strada. La Strada paid girl A in advance before she went to Romania. La Strada are paying for her current legal defense. After she accused us, 5 days in Romania, she left Romania and went to the south of France. Her ticket to the south of France and the hotel she stayed in was paid for by La Strada. La Strada is an NGO which is anti-human trafficking. So why are they paying people in advance and sending them to make human trafficking accusations? Because the media doesn't report on what has happened. It softens you up for what was going to happen. NGOs don't fix problems that they don't create. It's all a setup. Who funds La Strada? A bunch of other NGOs. Who funds those NGOs? USAID. The same fucking Soros deep left matrix bullshit as everything else. I'll let someone else do the deep dive on the funding of these fucking corrupt clowns. The point is, they set me up, and now they're about to lose. Imagine the frustration of my enemies. We put him in jail in Romania, he got out. We tried to break his mind, he wouldn't quit. We took his business and his money, he wouldn't quit. We attacked the mothers of his kids, he wouldn't quit. We hit him with an extradition warrant, he managed to escape. We hit him with another Romanian case, he managed to escape that. The whole time we're trying to convince him to kill himself, he won't quit, he won't give up. We've offered him money. We've offered him to give up. We've offered him capitulation. We've offered him to make all of it go away. We've offered him everything. He's still fighting. He won't give up, but it's fine because he's trapped in Romania and he's trapped there. And then he gets sent to England. And then like Julian Assange, he's going to vanish in Belmarsh for 12 years, 15 years, because we all know England is really fair. Julian Assange supposedly raped someone in 1981 and went to jail in England until he decided to not post on WikiLeaks. And then, so where's that girl he raped? They let him go now. Okay, well, she never existed. They're going to Julian Assange me. So don't worry about it. He's escaped all these things and he won't kill himself and he's so persistent and his women won't turn on him and he's fucking resisting us and he keeps talking on the internet. But you know what? He's trapped in Romania, so we're going to get hold of him. He's in America. How the fuck did he get to America? Oh, it's okay. We have the corrupt AG of Florida. They open an investigation. He hasn't done anything. There's nothing to fucking find. Doesn't even have a bank account to look at because we fucking took them all. What are you going to do? Wipes his phone every night. He's paranoid. And now he's about to depose girl A on television. What moves do we have left, team? Well, we can try and convince him to kill himself again. That's not going to work. We can offer him money again. 48 hours ago, they found out that doesn't work. So there's 3 lives. And they've already discussed it. No doubt about it. Because it's a pretty obvious choice. I fly on private jets. I drive fast cars. People don't like me. I'm a misogynist. You know, I might just be some crazy guy. It's always some crazy guy, isn't it?
How much money could they pay you to shut up?
Some men don't want money, Jack. They just want to watch the world burn. And the world which I want to burn is this piece of shit, corrupt, scumbag, misandric, fucking shithole that we've built in these liberal democracies. Every single element of this, the whole story I've told, is corrupt, head to toe, all of it. All because I told young men to go to the gym. I don't want money. If they want me to go away, I want a minister for men's rights in government. I want all these girls who make fake Me Too accusations to go to jail. I want men to be treated like people. I want fair, equal treatment. That's it. We talk about feminism and how women need equal rights. They have more rights than us in every single metric and regard. More men commit suicide. More men fucking go to jail. Men have the worst lives. We build the roads, we build the buildings, we die in ditches. A woman can lie about us, destroy our life at random. I'm tired of it. No. I've been through all of this shit because I was sticking up for men in the beginning, and that's the only way it's going to end. When they put in a minister for men's rights and when they start jailing women for false accusations against men, en masse, because most of them are false, when they stop weaponizing the judicial system against men who simply want to see their own children, when they drop all this bullshit where men are getting completely wrecked in divorce court, in custody court, when they drop all that shit, if they were to come to me with a proposal to drop all that shit, I'd shut up. But if they don't, it is important and it is bigger than me that I put her on the stand, just like Johnny Depp did with Amber Heard, and expose the fucking lies these women tell and the corruption of the system behind them. So my mission's bigger than me. So I don't need the money. I have money. 50 million doesn't change my life, as they found out 48 hours ago. But I know that they are getting desperate. Because what they have attempted to do, it is a miracle that it failed. I'm not going to put it down to my own genius. I'm only going to put it down to the fact that I paid attention for every opportunity, my unmatched perspicacity, and no matter how much I felt like quitting, I was indefatigable. I didn't quit. As my father once said, unmatched perspicacity and sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor, even against the fucking government of the United Kingdom and Romania itself, even against the Matrix itself. The fact that I refuse to quit, I refuse to give in, I refuse to do what they want, I refuse to stop talking, I wouldn't quit, I wouldn't go away, I wouldn't stop, and I paid attention to every single fucking advantage I could use against them. That's it. That's why I'm sitting here, and a whole bunch of luck and God. It's a miracle. But they know they're out of options. Besides, take my third leg.
What lie did you tell yourself to keep yourself sane through all this?
You know the funny thing about staying sane? It's kind of overrated. You have to optimize your life and optimize yourself for an objective. If your objective is to stay sane, then you have to sacrifice certain degrees of competency. For example, an insane man is more scary than a sane man. If you're optimizing to be scary, then there's nothing wrong with being insane. I optimized my mind and my life for resistance. And I realized I was better at resisting if I wasn't afraid of them. And I could only be fearless if I was a little bit insane. I wasn't trying to grasp onto sanity, Jack. I wasn't worried about getting my mind back. As I felt myself losing grip on the standard version of life which I understood, as I caught myself only sleeping 3 nights a week, as I caught myself becoming more and more prepared to do outlandish and crazy things to prove that I wasn't scared of them, I was like, good. I don't need sleep. I don't need to go back to happy little Andrew. No, I don't need to go back to happy millionaire with his cars. No, I need to be this person so that when they arrest me, I'm like, good, come. So that I get back on my podcast and call them fucking corrupt. Sanity in and of itself is an optimization point that wasn't in my mind. I didn't care about sanity. I didn't see the end of this. I still don't see the end of this. I'm in Beverly Hills in a mansion. Great. I have to survive till December. I don't think, truthfully, in my heart, there's a happy ending. So if I don't think there's a happy ending, what the fuck do I want to be sane for? If I'm sane, I'm going to give up. If I'm sane, I take the 50 mil, Jack. If I'm sane, I take their money and forget all this and move on with a nice, happy life. Take the money and go, at least I got paid, doop-de-doo, and go fuck some girls on a boat. That's what a sane man would do. What kind of fucking idiot would escape the jaws of a tiger and go back for his hat? What kind of dumbass would escape these people, and when he's finally free, when he finally breaks out, turn around and walk back with a stick saying, no, you started this fight. Outnumbered 100 to 1. What kind of sane man does that? This has nothing to do with sanity. I'm 40 years old. I've lived enough. Fuck them. And when this video comes out, after they do whatever they're going to do to me, everyone's going to fucking understand that I made the brave choice. I'm not the guy who always wins, Jack. I'm the guy who will always fucking fight, and I don't quit. Fuck them. Fuck them. They want me to go away. That's what they want. They want me to take the same choice. That's what they want. No. No. They attacked me first. They jumped me, and they beat the fuck out of me, and it was unfair. And now they've stopped, and now I've gotten up, and I should just walk home. And instead, I'm going to try and fight them all again. Everything has started again, and I've analyzed this. You said game theory. I've analyzed this. There's too much on the line for me to win. $1 billion from Romania. At least another $1 billion from the UK. Prime ministers losing their job. The Foreign Office, all the civil service, all their corruption, all of that shit. The NGOs, USA, Lustrada, all their fucking lawyers, all my assets. The Romanians still, even after they gave my passports back, kept all my money. They still have all my money and all my watches, all my stuff, all my gold. They still have my stuff. All of this stuff. If I sue girl A and my lawsuit in Florida is successful, then my school also, the attacks on that. Wait till I find out who's behind that and all that blows up again. They still lost control of the narrative. The reason this all started, they haven't fixed. No one believes I'm guilty. I've beaten them. There's so much on the line. They can't let me win. It's like Epstein. You just can't let him breathe. He knows too much. Too much has fucking happened. Too many people are going to burn. He has to die. They knew they'd get caught. And I say get caught. They didn't get caught as individuals, but we know they did it. Everyone knows they did it. They knew we'd know. They had no choice because there was too much on the line. There's too much on the fucking line to let me just depose this girl and win. So what's the alternative? They've tried to lock me up. That ain't working. They tried to delete me. That ain't working. Everyone's got their social media accounts back, but me. Remember, they're like, oh, conservative. Zuck's a conservative now. I'm at the UFC. I'm a conservative. Okay, Zuck, where's my Instagram? National security threat, terrorists. They have one move left. They tried the letters, that ain't gonna work. They tried the money 2 days ago, that ain't gonna work. They're going to try to kill me. And if they are successful, if they do kill me, all I hope is that this video is watched by as many people as possible so that something happens and changes. Because if you're a man who speaks the truth, your ability to speak freely is directly correlated to your insignificance. You are only allowed to talk the truth if nobody listens to you. If people are listening to you, if you become the most Googled man on the planet and you're saying the right things, they will do everything they fucking can to take you down.
Who are 5 people you want to say fuck you to?
I've heavily analyzed, my enemies are in the shadows. Who is behind Lustrada? Who is, who from the UK Foreign Office typed the letter? Who are the psychologists who told me to kill myself? My enemies are in the shadows. And they've sent these odd faces to the front, like the prosecutor and the guy who tried to take the Portuguese man's cars and this garbage. I'd be a fool to consider them my enemies. They're just pawns. My enemies are the king and the queen. I don't know who they are. That's why you can't get them, because you don't know who they are. The people who are really in charge of the world, we don't know who they are. We don't know who makes these calls. That's why they keep getting away with it. But you still would have a temptation in my position to say fuck you to the faces you do know. But I don't really have that temptation because, to be honest with you, I have analyzed my performance throughout this saga so heavily. And I think I've annoyed them more than they've annoyed me. I think I've won. I think they're so frustrated with me. I think that the Daily Telegraph, which printed 3 days ago, Andrew Tate must be extradited urgently. That's not an organic piece from the media. Why would the media be talking about me 4 years later? Why would the media print about me every single day, no matter what, on repeat? Because they're instructed to by the state, because they're a propaganda arm. So we must urgently get Andrew Tate, says the Telegraph, because the British government told them to. And that just shows how pathetic and frustrated they are. When they call a hotel in Hong Kong, please kick him out. And the owner goes, I'm not going to kick you out. They're losers. I'm like, I know they're losers. And then I post from the hotel having a cigar on my Twitter. Imagine thinking you're the big boss and you're like working for the government. You're a spy. You're James Bond working for MI6 and little old Andrew's making a fucking dickhead out of you. I think I've annoyed them far more than they'll ever annoy me. And I think even if they kill me, it's the same. Even if they kill me, I get to be a hero forever. It's fine. I'm sure dying will suck, but then I'll be dead.
Do you fear death?
I fear dying. I don't think you can fear death because you're dead then. I fear dying. I'm worried about the people I'm going to leave behind. But I'm almost there, bro. I'm 40. I've got 20, 30 years left anyway. And I've lived more life than most men will ever live in 100 years. So I can't complain about my experiences. I've had it from the bottom. I've had Romanian jail and all this shit, Bugattis, private jets, the most beautiful women on the planet, endless children, endless money, fame, most famous man in the world, a fighter, a chess player. I've done everything. I've done everything. I've had a great life. But I don't want to say fuck you to anybody because I believe that somehow, in the end, things work out fair. And if I end up dead, that's fine, because I believe there's going to be some degree of karmic justice for the people who did this to me.
I really think we should add, if this is your last podcast, what is the one thing you want men to remember?
I recently lost a boxing match, and everyone says to me, Andrew, why'd you do that? You're too old to fight. Who does this and then goes and fights? Of course I lost. The fuck? Who does this? And when the second he's free, gets in there with someone 40 kilo, 50 pounds heavier than him and 15 years younger than him and 2 inches taller than him. What kind of idiot? People ask me, does it bother you because you know you were top G and you lost this fight? I always, when presented with the 2 pieces of paper, when I was presented with the red pill and the blue pill, I have always my entire life taken the brave choice. At the time of filming of this podcast, I have just rejected their $50 million to drop my case and make all this go away. I just took a brave choice. And now they're all sitting around a table deciding what they can do. And I'm not even saying they're bad people. As funny as this sounds, I'm not even going to say they're evil. I guarantee they're saying, is there anything we can do besides kill it? Problem is, the list's getting thin. And soon the conversation is going to turn to, there's nothing else left. We either kill him or we let him win. Nothing else is working. We either kill him or we let him win. Well, what happens if he wins? Everything. Everyone's fucked. And then they have to make a choice. Do we want to tear the whole system down that pays us and pays our kids and the system we believe in and the system we built for one guy? Or does he want to be in a plane accident? Planes crash, bro. Shit happens. The world moves on. Epstein died. The world's moved on just fine. Shit happens. So I want people to understand that no matter what happens to me, I never feel regret, even if it all goes wrong. because I'm proud of my track record of always choosing the brave choice. When we last did a podcast, my security team and I spotted a tail about 2 days before our last podcast, and we noticed we were being followed. Now, with some investigation, we believe it may have just been people who wanted to rob us, but at the time, we thought it might have been a more serious threat. And that's why I was acting the way I was when I last saw you, with the security teams I had, and I was so concerned, and I was really worried, and I wanted to come in the middle of the night, and I had so many guys outside with guns, etc. This is no way to live, truthfully. There's no way to live. The sword of Damocles is far more intimidating than the grapes are tasty. And I actually think the reason I've said no to them is because if I say yes to them, I think that they may still consider killing me. So what I'm going to do, instead of living this way for the rest of my life as a king with that sword over my head, I'm going to force a decision. Either I'm going to fucking win or you're going to kill me.
Well, everyone, this has been your guest, Andrew Tate. This is the Jack No Podcast. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, sir.
We'll do another one soon.